Hello, Slaters. Welcome to Slate the School video class. Before we start our today's session, have a look at things in your room. The position of objects like sofa, TV, almirah is same from the day they are placed in it. Are the walls of your classroom at the same position or they keep changing their place? The walls of the classroom are at same place as they are not changing their position with respect to the surroundings. When we look out through the window, we see that many objects like cars, buses, people, etc. moving. They keep changing their position. Slaters, we have noticed that some objects do not change their position at all and some change their positions with respect to the surroundings. So, let's learn more about it in our topic motion. To understand motion, we need to understand the word relative, which plays an important role in explaining the concept of motion. What is relative? We use many statements in our life to express our views. The meaning of the statement depends on the context in which it is made. Let us now learn the term relative with respect to the position. There are two typical sets of positions. They are right and left, up and down. Slaters, observe the picture on the screen. What are the things of the left and on the right? Two persons, Somesh and Srinu on the left, car on the right and tree in the middle. Do you think your answer is correct? It may or may not be correct. It all depends on what is taken as a reference. For example, if I consider Srinu as my reference, left to him is the tree and the car. On the right, Somu is standing speaking to him. In the same way, if I consider person in car as my reference, our answers vary. This is called relativeness. For a better clarity, let's try to consider another example. Look at the picture on the screen. What is the position of pin Q in your view? Up or on the top? But the position of pin Q in view of pin P is opposite to it. In the same way, the directions up and down are not the same for the pins R and S. They change with the position from where the pins are observed. Hence, the notions up and down as well as left and right have no meaning unless the point of reference is defined. Let us go through another real life example. Now, is it day or night? The answer for this question depends on where the question is being asked. When it is daytime in India, it is night in New York. The simple fact is that day and night are relative notions and our question cannot be answered without indicating the place on the globe. In a similar way, longer and shorter, near and far, motion and rest are also relative to the observer. To understand the idea of motion, let us take the following hypothetical activity. Assume that I am Srinu and you are Somu in the picture. Answer to my questions. What is the state of motion of the tree? It is at rest. What is the direction of motion of the car? It is moving due east. What is the state of motion of the driver and the passenger in the car? They are moving along with the car due east. How do you decide that the car, the passenger, and the driver are moving? With respect to us, the position of the car, the passenger, and the driver are changing their position with time. So, they are in motion. Slaters, let us define motion. A body is said to be in motion if its position with respect to surroundings changes with time. Then, how can you define rest? A body is said to be at rest if its position with respect to the surroundings doesn't change with time. Now, assume that we are in a car. I am driving the car and you are in the back seat. Answer to my questions. What is the state of motion of the tree? It is moving due west. What is the state of motion of both the persons beside the road? They are also moving due west. What is my state of motion? We are at rest. What is the state of motion of the car? It is at rest. What is the direction in which we are heading? We are moving due east. From the above discussion, it is clear that the tree is at rest with respect to Somesh and it is moving due west with respect to the passenger. The motion or rest of an object depends on the observer. So, motion is a combined property of the observer and the body which is being observed. When the object is moving, we can describe its motion completely by mentioning the direction in which it is going ahead. Slaters, in physics, we deal with the large number of physical quantities. All these physical quantities are classified into two types. They are scalar quantities and vector quantities. The physical quantities which can be described only by magnitude are called scalar quantities. They do not have any direction. For example, length, mass, time, distance, speed, temperature, etc. The physical quantities which can be described by magnitude as well as direction are called vector quantities. For example, displacement, velocity, acceleration, weight, etc. Slaters, in everyday life, the terms distance and displacement are used with the same sense. In physics, these terms have a different meaning. Distance is the total length of the path traversed by an object. Displacement is the shortest distance between the initial position and the final position of a body. Simply, it is the distance in a specified direction. As displacement has a specified direction, it is a vector quantity, whereas distance does not have any specific direction, so it is a scalar quantity. Let us see an example. In a circular track of radius 7 meter, if a body completes one revolution, then the distance covered by the body is 2 pi r, which is equal to 2 into 22 by 7 into 7, which is equal to 44 meter, and the displacement of the body is 0 meter. Look at the screen. Try to tell the distance and displacement of the body in the video. Let us consider another example. You go to school every day in the morning from home and return home in the evening. As we started and ended at the same place, what would be your displacement and distance traversed? Make a note of the answers in your notes. I will be checking in my next class. Slaters, here is a googly for the day. If an object moves on path which is like a right angle triangle named ABC with sides 3 cm, 4 cm and 5 cm, find the distance and displacement of the object if it travels along the longest side and reaches the opposite vertex. Slaters, hope this session was joyful. Before we wind up today's session, let's have few questions to stimulate your brain till my next class. When do the distance and magnitude of displacement become equal? What is the displacement of the body if it returns to the same point from where it started? What are the units of distance and displacement? Take the help of your textbook to get a hint. Have a good day. Bye-bye.